I was happier being broke and not having a plan, but knowing that there was a possibility of happiness than just playing it safe and being stuck.
I'm Hartley Sawyer. I'm an actor, an activist, and a full-time work in progress. I am my business. I'm the CEO of me. Pursuing my goals has been a bigger challenge than I ever imagined. And taking risks, it doesn't always come easy for me. So I've come to New York to find how and where some of this city's most successful people find the courage, the strength to act, to roll the dice, make the leap, and make it happen. My education begins right now. This is Courageous Leapers.
Ross Cassidy, he jumped hemispheres to design the life he wanted. I'm on my way to meet him at the High Line, one of his favorite places in New York, to find out how he went from dollar draft bartender to $1 million decorator. You've done so many different things. You grew up in South Africa, you worked in advertising, then you studied graphic design, and now you're an interior designer.
Yeah, I've bounced around a little.
You certainly have. I mean, it sounds like such an incredible journey. How did we get there? Was it easy to leave South Africa?
Leaving South Africa was the best thing I ever did for myself. It was, as a kid, I always knew that I was in the wrong place. I needed to be like up there instead of like down at the bottom of the world.
Right.
And I didn't plan it. I just got on a plane and moved to London. And it's a night flight, and I woke up the following morning as we were coming into land over London and looking out the airplane window over an entirely foreign landscape, you know, because I grew up in Africa, so I'm used to Africa, and looking at that green, incredible English countryside, I looked out of the plane window and I was like, what did I do? Yeah. I think I've made a really big mistake. But it lasted about 10 minutes because as soon as I hit the ground and was on the streets in London, something felt more right than anything I'd ever felt in my life. It was like, this is the right thing.
Somebody like me, I can be adverse to risk, to be totally honest with you. How do I get around that?
The thing is you just have to do it. You've got to just take the risks. And I don't believe in taking small risks because I think, you know, everything is incremental. You take a small risk, you're only going to get a small reward. You've got to like do the crazy thing, do the big thing, do the riskiest thing. And the biggest risks I've taken in my life have always paid off way bigger than I could ever imagine.
So the biggest risks give you the biggest rewards?
For sure. The only way to progress is to do something different. If you keep doing everything the same way, your life's never going to change, you're never going to learn anything new, and you're never going to do anything differently. You'll never make more money, you'll never go new places, you'll never experience anything. You know, there's that great quote, and I don't know who said it, that no one discovered new shores without consenting to leave sight of the shore that they were on.
And achieving your happiness and going for your happiness, that idea far outweighed any discomfort that you'd experience.
Going for happiness for me outweighs everything.
Everything.
You've got to focus on what it is that makes you happy and go after that. Fantastic. And you've got to consent to be unhappy for a long time to get to where it is you want to go. You know, one of the best pieces of advice I ever got was from a friend of mine when I first moved to London, and he was tremendously successful. And I'd said to him, what was the sort of secret to your success? How did you do it? And he said he was tremendously unhappy in his personal life and didn't enjoy work and what he was doing, and knew he had some sort of idea of where he wanted to go. So he decided to just take the leap and go for it in the hopes that the universe would provide a safety net. Yeah. And he said the universe didn't provide a safety net. What it did was provide a trampoline, and it skyrocketed him into like levels of success he would otherwise never have imagined.
And how does that translate into, is that something you still use in your life to this day?
Every day. When I worry about like a decision, is it the right thing to do? Is it risky? You know, if I'm not sure, I just think about that trampoline, and I think, you know, eventually you're going to bounce back up. I mean, the fall might be far, but I think the further you fall, the higher you're going to bounce.
How does that translate into what you do now? Because now you're designing, you have high-end clients, multi-million-dollar, you know, properties going on and everything like that. And so you're dealing with some real personalities there who maybe aren't going to give you a trampoline, they're going to give you a brick wall. How do you meet that challenge?
It's true. You know, I didn't realize getting into design that, you know, I thought it's a creative field, but it's really not. It's sales and service. And you've got to just sort of like, you've got to believe what it is that you're selling. If you don't believe in your product, you're never going to sell it.
Yeah.
And then I guess persistence alone is sort of omnipotent. You've got to just keep going and going and going. And if you really believe in something, I think you can make it work.
you don't want to wait too long to go for what you want. You can't
No.
wait to go for what you want because you never know what could happen.
Absolutely. 100%.
Fantastic.
Go after what you want and go after it now. I think people do this weird thing where they impose like timelines on things and they say,
I do that.
You know, I'll have my dream house in 10 years. It's like, why 10 years? Like, you made that up. Yeah. Go for it now.
I loved Ross's trampoline analogy. The further you fall, the higher you can bounce back. Courage? It's knowing the fall isn't the end of the journey. In fact, it can be the start of something new.